Welcome reading number 1. You chose camera. The keywords are reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. What I love about these cards is I almost feel like they have multiple readings in one. When they said they wanted me to do 5 readings, I was like, whoa. They're like, yeah, but whoa, it's just gonna be one card. I was like, okay. I'm like, that's a lot, just because I know these cards are they are intense and they are no bullshit. So let me tell you, I just personally went through this today, so I'm not asking you to do something I wouldn't do myself, or I'm not courageous enough to do myself. And let me tell you, today was the day I had to get rid of stuff. Things that I loved, things that I even had artwork that other people made me that I was like, no, told me it needs to move on. And some of the stuff I had as designer, really nice. I was like, oh gosh, okay. But they showed me that they are going to go on to other people, because I have a local shop in town that is the nicest young man, just like a really lovely, beautiful soul. And I love donating things to them. And he told me that over the pandemic, all of these people were just giving him things. Nobody wanted to buy. They didn't want him, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't want any money. They didn't want to exchange, because he does, I guess when he opened, he used to do that. Now he doesn't have to, because so many people, there's him and Goodwill in town. Who do you think they're going to give to? He's like the sweetest guy, and he just wants to help people. He likes helping veterans. I work in an area that's very, it's like one of the 5th largest bases in the world, Army bases. So I love that, knowing that these things are not just going to support him, but they're also going to go on to other people. You know, it's time to let go of things. I had to let go of something today that's like one of my favorite pieces of clothing, but I can't help it. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of a person that, it's not even that they're not in my life anymore. It's just that, um, you know, they just don't want me to have that. Like, they just don't want me to think of them. They don't want me to, you know what I mean? And it's not in a negative way. It's just, that's the only thing from them, or that I have connected to this person. And they're like, why? By the way, the rooster's crowing and they've been out. So, look up rooster spirit medicine. That's your homework. Okay. If spirit calls me to put it on the main page, I will. If not, that's the rooster talking to you. And, you know, roosters are also about like, look at me, I'm the cock of the walk. Like, look at me. Look at me. And spirit's saying, when you move other things on, you're allowing other things to come in. So go through your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go through everything. And I know that seems crazy, but go through everything you have. And if you have a negative memory on something that's like, you know, maybe it's your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend's sweater, right? Or sweatshirt, or some comfy shirt. I'm just putting this out there, right? But you're not with them anymore. And actually, it wasn't a super great relationship for you. It's like, why are you holding on to that energy and that person? Even if you wash it 100 times, your brain isn't washing away the memory, right? So it's time for you to connect with who you are today and not who you used to be. Okay? And it could be photographs too. Do you have pictures in your phone? Do you have pictures in frames? Things like that. Let them go. You know, I actually, years ago, I studied Feng Shui. And I don't remember if there's a specific place for them, but I do know that they say, like, not to keep, like, pictures of people all over your house, because it's like you're bringing their energy in, especially in the bedroom. Do not have any pictures of a lover, excuse me, sorry, an ex-lover, definitely not family or friends, right? Like, why would you want pictures of your parents in your bedroom where you're like getting busy? You know what I mean? It's like you're about to have the most amazing orgasm of your life and you look at your mom. I don't care if you have a good or bad relationship, quote unquote, good or bad, you know, positive, negative, doesn't matter. But it's just unnecessary. Like, why is that there? Why is it there? It doesn't need to be there. So, oh, and that rooster is not playing. They're asking me to bring in this pyrite. I was going to bring it in and then something kind of pulled me not to. So you may want to look up pyrite as well and work with pyrite. But yeah, like that rooster, and he's a young buck, like he's a little over a year. So it's funny. We've been listening to him go, like trying to work it out. And then like earlier today, I heard him like, woo, listen to you cock of the walk. Like, and he's also telling you to speak your truth, use your throat chakra. And also, perception. Even if you had a bad relationship, a quote unquote, or a negative relationship or whatever it is, hard relationship with this person, you can still heal through it. It's not about that, like every time you look at it, you're like, oh, I hate them. It's like, no, it's like you can keep something and look at it and send it love every time too. It's just basically like your attachment right now, I'm feeling, is energy, is emotions. Like you're really, really, really connected to the past. But it's saying, look at that. Learn from the past. You want to learn from it, but you don't want to live in it and you don't want to take it forward with you. Your other mission, should you choose to accept it, is to live in the present and to stay in the present moment. Because you know what? You can make new memories, right? You can make new memories. But your attachment is literally for you guys are things, but it's your emotions. I also get the feeling you guys are powerful empaths. So if you're an empath and you're really connected to your emotions, right? And you feel everything, because there's all different levels of empaths. And just because you have empathy doesn't necessarily mean you're an empath, okay? Because that's been really getting thrown around a lot lately and for the last several years now. And, I realize like my partner, he has deep empathy, but he's not an empath. And I kept saying, oh, you're an empath like me. You're an empath like me. There's different levels of empaths. But then we were talking about one day and he's like, I don't think I am an empath. And I was like, no, I'm like, he can detach from emotions, like, and not because it's like some old trigger. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's just his makeup. Also, he's a Gemini, so I think that helps a lot. That he can kind of switch it on and off. And not in a shitty way, but just like, So if you can switch it on and off, that's great. But at the same time, why are you holding on to things? When I looked down, it was 7-11. So if that means anything to you guys, it's also the number 9. Okay. Could be a date for you. It could be a birthday. It could be the numbers. Could be a lot of different things. It could be a person and maybe that's their birthday. It could be your birthday and they're like trying to tell you, to let go of somebody. But, the fact that the rooster was just going to town like that right outside my door, and there's 10 acres. And he's like over here like, what's up, you guys? Like, he's not fooling around, So for the new people here, welcome. And thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing. It does really help with the algorithm to get us out there, to grow our tribe, to get people to wake up and understand their purpose here on earth. So use your throat chakra, speak your truth. And be real. Spirit's saying be real with yourself. Like, be real. I'm going to see if this will it glow. Sometimes it'll glow the words. No. The lighting's weird right now. It's towards the end of the day. And my little area where I do readings, the lighting's changing, because it's getting, solstice is right around the corner. It's like we're like 3 weeks away now. So it's just been getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Also, if you can, I'm hearing for some of you, they asked me to bring that up because you're very attached to time, control. If you have a schedule or if you have a life where you don't have to have a strict schedule, I'm getting the vibe from Spirit that it's time for you to go on your natural clock. If you have the ability to do that, they want you to practice going on your natural clock for a while. Some of you may, used to get up in the morning or you're like doing a certain routine, but if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. I mean, that's basically what this whole reading is about. It's the law of detachment. So being attached to the outcome, being attached to, I really heard it in one part of the meditation. And if you didn't watch the beginning, there are 2 meditations below from Deepak Chopra. I highly, highly recommend you go down and check them out. They're amazing. They really helped me tremendously. But it's about being present, because when you're present in the moment, what's naturally going to come to you will come to you. But if you're forcing too hard for an outcome, or you're forcing too hard to hold on to the past or to things or maybe a memory or whatever it is, Spirit saying, that's what the camera is for, like our eyeballs. It's like we take snapshots of things, and every single thing that we look at, we get snapshots. And for some of you who are light workers like myself, in the terms of mediums and, whatever, you have certain clairs, right? You can see things, feel things, hear things. Also remember that time is a man-made construct. So sometimes, like in the last few years, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be meditating and I see us moving and I'm like, it's June. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I was like, we're moving in June. And I kept putting these like pressures on myself and whatever. And then this year, a lot of crazy things happened over the last few months. And now we are really moving in June. But I was like going back into the past going, man, I should have done this differently. I should have done that differently. Did I fuck us? Like now we, this is happening. And Spirit was like, whoa, slow your roll. No, you are doing everything you're supposed to be doing. It's just, it feels uncomfortable because it's like I've been controlled. I was raised by narcissists. And this, not pure narcissist, but I had a lot of narcissism, sociopathic, controlling, dark energies, like just like a lot of darkness around me, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of violence. And so, and as an empath, I connected to these things and attached them to me. And it's taken me several years to go through different modes of soul retrieval to realize that pieces of me have been missing for a long time because I kept buying into other people's narrative. And also buying into the time construct of the human, oh man, do you see that thing of all those birds? I don't know if you guys saw the reflection, but that was cool. A bunch of birds just went by. And anyway, let the birds take that energy. Let them take it. Ask Spirit, say, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this energy. I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to be controlled. I want to go with the flow. I want to be around people who go with the flow. You do not have to. When I look down, it's 11:40. And for new people here, anytime I throw things out, that's Spirit asking you to look that up. So look up 11:40 spirit animal, spirit medicine. You can look up 11:40. It's also the number 6, spiritual meaning, whatever it means. But 6 are also, it's like the reward after the hardship of 5. So they're saying this is the thing that's holding you back, are these attachments and the controlling. And that in every day you can work on that in little ways. There's you can find different meditations, different forms. By the way, out of nowhere, I'm getting like super hot. I know the sun is coming over here, but it just feels like you guys too. It almost feels like you're feeling it too, like you're in the hot seat, like it, you can tell, like Spirit's like, get rolling, you need to make these changes, this has to happen. So this is just like another, like if you found yourself here, it's because you gotta let shit go. Especially, I don't care if it's a fucking pair of shoelaces from when you were 12. If it has any type of, negative energy or any negative thoughts, like just let them go. If it's something that's going to keep coming up. Also, for those of you who have pendulums and those of you, and you can actually, if you don't have a pendulum, you can use a coin as well. But I just make sure that I bless it and keep it in a good spot. Like, see this? Like, see, I have this little box right here. I got my lip balm. But then I also have this trusty dusty quarter that I keep for, when I can't find my pendulum and I need a simple yes or no answer. So it's interesting too, because this one has, the reason why it was drawn for me to keep it was the buffalo. Interestingly enough, fun fact, I lived in Wichita, Kansas for 22 months. And look at that, 2005. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, did I live in Kansas? I think I was living in Kansas in 2005. I think. No, I don't know. Either way, isn't that interesting though? But 1861. So if those numbers mean anything to you. So, heads or tails. And just say, pick up an item and say, okay, Spirit, do you want me, to keep this lip balm? And then you you just go up and you say heads yes, tails no. Ooh, tails no. I didn't really throw it that far, but still, tails no. Maybe they want me to get rid of this lip balm, so I'll get rid of it. Probably because it's only 50% organic. I actually have other ones that my friends give me. I got this from Trader Joe's. Anyway, you see where I'm going with this? So go through your stuff and flip a fucking coin, but make sure that you wash it really good and that you infuse your energy on it and you ask Spirit, you say, I use heads, yes, tails, no. You can do it any way you want to do it. But you just ask Spirit to wash away all the energy from that coin and that the only energy is on there and only your higher self can control that coin. Only your higher self, okay? Because your higher self, your higher energy will flip it in the way it's supposed to for your greatest and highest good. Now listen, there were many times today where I did that with my pendulum, like, no, okay, you know? And they're like, well, you can do whatever you want to do. They're just like, you're asking us if it's in your greatest and highest good to keep this or pass it on right now. We're telling you, you know, whatever, right? So you still have free will. If you're not ready to get rid of your whoopee, if you've never seen Mr. Mom, you should watch that movie. It's so good. But one of the little boys has his little blankie. He calls it his whoopee, you know, and he's getting bigger. And the dad's like, I think it's time for you to retire the whoopee, buddy. And he's like, no. And he's like, come on, you're not a baby anymore. You can keep your whoopee as long as you want, by the way, Spirit said. But do you hear what I'm saying? It's like, but is it in your greatest and highest good? Why are you keeping it? Because the questions here are like, why are you attaching yourself to these things? They're just things. They're just things. They're just things. And also the energy. Ask Spirit, do some cord cutting. You know, and for some of you guys, it might be a person and say, I need to cut cords with this person. And then you do like an energetic cord cutting. You do it. I'm telling you, it works. It works. Look at me. I'm like with my scissors, right? It's like, and you ask, and you do the cord cutting and you ask Spirit and your higher self or whatever, however you pray, however you do your stuff. It's personal to everybody. But you know what? It's only going to happen if you really mean it. If you don't mean it, it's not going to happen. Same with these other things. And also get it out of your house. Thank you, Spirit. I used to work as literally I had business cards. I was called the closet collaborator because I worked as a wardrobe stylist. And some people, I would help them, you know, put outfits together, whatever. And then I would ask them about their stuff at home. Like, you know, if they liked something, I'd say, well, what are you going to wear with it? And they'd be like, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like, I'm like, you're better off not buying it than trying to buy something and to match it with something else. What I found is so many people will buy a shirt or a pair of pants or whatever. Like you could buy a scarf, right? Or like accessories. Of course you'll find things for that. But if you have like, if you see a top and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, but you never ever put it with anything, then it's like, then it's just going to hang in your closet, you know? And it's different for everybody because everybody has a different style and a different fashion sense. But the one thing I learned from doing this is that I started going to people's homes, and one of my clients was like, she's like, you're like the closet collaborator. She's like, that's amazing. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. So I did do that and it was really fun. But I did find that emotionally, people were so emotionally attached to things. It's not the thing really. It's the emotions around the thing or the relationship, right? It's like, it's about letting go. And if you're somebody who tends to control things, you know, there's your answer, right? But the number one thing you got to do is get it out of your house. Don't just put it in a bag and stick it in your closet or stick it in the garage because you can, you know what I mean? It's get it out. Literally, like I put because I've had these bags and I've been building on them. And today I went through everything and I'm just like, okay, cool. There's nothing else in here that Spirit wants me to get rid of at this moment. So I'm like, okay. And I'm not kidding you. I literally like handed them to my husband. I'm like, put them in the car and drive them to the store. I was like, I don't want them here. I don't want to like try and take them back. You know what I mean? You need to get it out and donate it to a good cause, you know, to a women's shelter or something like that. You know, don't just donate it to like Goodwill or somebody that's like, you know, using your money for whatever. It's like donate it to people who really, 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 really need it. And if you're not sure, research in your town or local surrounding towns that you can drive to. Okay. So those are your messages. Reading number 1. I love you so much. You can do this. I believe in you. And I promise you, you will feel better. Not only that, but once you declutter your life and detach yourself from these things, these emotions, these people, these things, all of it, right? Then you will make room for the new to come in and what's really meant for you. All right, you guys, all of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Aho.